For almost all of human history, people didn't know what a disease was. They only knew one thing: people died. Some died after dangerous hunts. Others died after tiny scratches. Children burned with fever, then never woke up again. To them, death had no categories. There were no infections, no viruses, or bacteria, only life and sudden death. But then, something strange began happening. Another child, the same fever, another family, the same suffering. It didn't feel like bad luck anymore. For the first time, humanity asked a question it had never asked before. Why are these deaths so similar? Without realizing it, humanity had just discovered something extraordinary. Death wasn't always random. An invisible pattern had been hiding all these deaths. If these deaths weren't random, then another question became impossible to ignore. Could the same sickness somehow reach new people? One day, a respected hunter returned from a distant journey. He looked healthy. He smiled. Life carried on as usual. A few days later, his wife became ill. Everyone believed it was another tragic coincidence. Then their child fell sick. Soon after, another family. Then another. The pattern was becoming impossible to ignore. The hunter had never looked sick. Yet somehow, the sickness had followed him home. Without understanding why, people began changing their behavior. The sick slept apart. Families kept their distance. Experience became their only teacher. Humanity had uncovered another hidden truth. Disease didn't always die with its victim. It could travel from one person to the next. It also could spread, but humanity refused to surrender. If no one understood the enemy, perhaps experience itself could become a weapon. Nature offered the first clues. One healer noticed that certain leaves seemed to ease pain. No one knew why, but the next healer remembered. Elsewhere, another healer noticed that wounds washed with clean water often healed better. Not every time, but often enough to remember. Little by little, knowledge stopped living inside people and started living across generations. Experience became tradition. Across continents, different civilizations began recording what they learned, not because they shared one teacher, but because they shared the same human curiosity. In China, generations refined herbal medicine. In Greece, Hippocrates urged physicians to study patients instead of blaming every illness on the gods. Different traditions, the same search for answers. Nature had been leaving clues all along, and humanity had finally begun collecting them. Every observation, every lesson, every generation became part of something far greater than any one healer. Observation had made humanity better at surviving disease, but one mystery refused to dissipate. For thousands of years, humanity had collected clues. Healers eased pain. Physicians recorded patterns. But that one mystery was not visible. Which is, what exactly were they fighting? Then in the 17th century, Antonie van Leeuwenhoek looked through a handmade microscope, and humanity saw an invisible world for the very first time. The discovery raised more questions than answers. Were these tiny living things harmless? Or had humanity finally found the invisible enemy it had searched for all along? Louis Pasteur finally connected the dots. These invisible organisms weren't just everywhere. Some of them could make us sick. Then Robert Koch went even further. Different diseases had different causes. For the first time, humanity could identify its enemy instead of simply fearing it. Understanding the enemy changed everything. Edward Jenner showed that disease could be prevented before it began. Years later, Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin, proving many infections could be treated after they appeared. For the first time in history, doctors were no longer fighting blind. They could prevent disease before it began and treat infections after they appeared. Humanity finally had real weapons against an invisible enemy. Disease was no longer a curse, nor punishment, nor a mystery. It had a biological cause. And for the first time, humanity finally understood the enemy it had been fighting for thousands of years. Understanding the enemy changed everything. A child who might once have been lost to disease could now be protected before illness ever began. Hospitals became places of healing instead of helpless waiting. For the first time, doctors could face disease with understanding instead of hope alone. Generation by generation, more children survived. More families stayed together. Grandparents lived to watch their grandchildren grow. Humanity wasn't just surviving anymore, it was beginning to thrive. But disease never stopped changing. Some bacteria evolved resistance. New viruses emerged. Old enemies returned in unexpected ways. Every answer created new questions. Every breakthrough revealed another mystery waiting to be solved. Across the world, each discovery became the foundation for the next. Different countries, different languages, one shared determination to understand a little more than the generation before. This was never a battle that could be won once and for all. It was a race between disease's ability to evolve and humanity's determination to keep learning. Disease will continue to evolve, but so will humanity. Perhaps our greatest strength was never defeating disease, but ensuring every generation could see a little farther than the last.